Today's daf is Masechtas Nazir Daf Hey. We are at the top of Daf Hey and Aleph. Zok the Gemara, the first two words on the top line. Zok the Gemara Lema Kitanoi. So the Gemara is going to try to be toila this nidin that we had in a machlokes Tana. So what was the nidin we had before Daf Daled? So we had a shaila. We wanted to know this that it says in the Mishnah that Eretz Ha'am is Metame. Is it Metame because Avira, Pshat is the space, the ear in outside Eretz Yisrael is Metame automatically, Chum Geyser, or in a Mela in that case, even if he goes in a Shida Teva Migdal, it's Chaytz Fnei Atama, still is Tame, or is Mishum Gusha, that would Geyser on the dirt of Chuslar. So if you go in a Shida Teva Migdal, it's Chaytz Fnei Atama. So the Gemara is going to try to say machlokes tanam. Zok Gemara lemet kanoi. Say it's machlokes tanam because the Brisa says. What does the Brisa say? Hanichnas l'Eretz Ha'am. A person that goes in to Eretz Ha'am, which is Chutz La'aretz, b'shid teva mikvah, goes in a box or in a cone-shaped thing. So the idea is that these things are choitzitz b'fnei atum. So Rebbe says he's tamei. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda is matar. He holds his tar. So my love, what's machlekes? Maybe machlekes is that Rebbe Savar, that the reason why Gozer Chacham Gozer Taman Eretz Amim is Mishum Avira is because they said all the ear of Avira Chutz La'aretz is tamei. So even if you go in a Shida David Migdal, you're tamei because you are in the halal avir you're in the space of chutz la'aretz, even though you're in a box and normally it's chutz, it doesn't make a difference. But Yosef Yehuda's savar, maybe he holds that's just it's just on the dirt, it's on the ground. That if you mal on the afar, that you become tummy. But if you go in a box, it's chutz, it's yitar. Zok Gemara loy is no hech to say that that's machlokes Rebbe and Rabbi Yosef Yehuda, and I can tell you the Kuli Alma everyone holds that the reason why they would goes to Taman Eretz Ha'am Mishum Gusha. Maybe it's all just the ground, they said. So what's a machlokes? I can tell you, Rabbi Yosef Yehuda holds tar. Why? Because Savar oil zaruk. He holds the oil that is kind of portable, where a person could move it or an animal could move it, and it doesn't stand in one place. He holds shmei oil. It has a din of oil, and therefore, even though it's nistaltal, still it's chaytz fnei atama. And that's why Rabbi Yosef Yehuda holds a star. Umar savar zok the Gemara, and the mandam will hold. Rebbe will hold this tamei. What's pshat? Savar loishmei oil. He holds a oil zarek, a portable oil is loishmei oil, and that's why you're tar. And therefore, it's not chaytz fnei atama. So although it's al kusha gazur, still Rebbe could have done because he holds, talking about a case of oil zark, and oil zark, he holds a portable oil, loishmei oil, doesn't have the oil to be chaytzitz, and it doesn't have a din oil, and therefore that would be pshat and Rebbe. Pshat is oil zark, and it's not chaytz fnei atama. Frekti Gemara. Vatanya. So Vatanya is not a kasha, it's actually a raya. So Gemara is bringing a raya. Vatanya and Mutaka, where does it in Tosefta and Ahalois? In Perek Tes Halacha Hey, it says that an oil that gets carried bidei Adam is considered an oil according to Rabbi Yosef Yehuda, because it says over there in the Mishnah Ahalois, it says Rabbi Yosef Yehuda, Rabbi Yosef Yehuda says Teva, a big large box that holds 40 sa, shimalea kalim, it's full of kalim, uzuraka al pnei mace, and a person throws it onto a mace in a way that it makes an oil on top of the mace. The halacha is Dr. Yehuda tameya. He's tamei. Why? Because since under this teva there is afar, it's not chaytz in front of an oil tumas mace, in front of tumas oil mace. The im haisa munachas, and if let's say this kupa malay, this teva malaya that's machzak abaram sa, which is malaya kalim, what happens if it was on top of a person or on top of an animal, and you wrote it and it walked over a mace. Allah in that case is Tahira. Why? Because that's considered oil zaruk. It's portable. And Zakir B'Yosef Yehuda, he holds that oil zaruk is Shemai oil, has it in oil, and therefore it's chaytzitz on the tumas oil mace, because it has its own din oil. It's chaytzitz. This teva is chaytzitz in front on the oil mace. So Zok Gemara of Yosef Yehuda you see in Avos. Now Zok Gemara Viter, another explanation in the machlokes of Yosef Yehuda Rebbe. Zok Gemara. Yiboy Seima, I can tell you another psham that why Yosef Yehuda holds tahar and Rebbe's mitame. Because I can tell you the kuli alma, I can tell you the opposite. Sari Rebbe, Sari Yosef Yehuda hold the gezeir and Thomas Aretz Adam Shemavira. Because you're in this space, the halal avira of chutzlar, it's a tummy. Even if you're in the teva shem migdal, doesn't make a difference. And even if you're not on type of karka, nothing to do with gusha. Let's say he goes into chutzlar on a boat, right? So in that case, you don't have dirt under him, or he goes on a wagon. So Zok the Gemara, what's my chalokes shid teva middle of Yosef Yehuda and Rabbi? Zok the Gemara, Umar. Rav Yosef Yehuda holds Savar came in the loy shchicha, since it's not shchiach for a person to go into chutzlar to shida teva migdal. Like God's Rabbanon, the reason why he holds tar is because it's not shchiach, so Rabbanon not goes at tama. Umar zakti Gemara Savar, and Rebbe holds that you are tamei afagav loy shchicha, even though it's not shchiach, it's not common, still goes Rabbanon. Zakt the Gemara v'hatanya, and we taka learned as in a brisa, v'iter it's a raya this v'hatanya, it's not a kasha. Says in the brisa, hanichnas la'aretz am yeshida teva migdal tahar, because since it's not shchiach, it's not common, chamor and geyser. However, b'karan b'sina v'skaria, if he goes in a big boat which has like big sails, it's tameh, because since it's more common, chachamim were geyser. Another pshat in machlokes of Yosef Yehuda and Rebbe, Zakti Gemara Vayter, Rebbe Seima, I can tell you another pshat. That the reason why the geyser tumah is because of gusha, I'll tell you. And according to both of them, oil zarok, shmoi oil, even a portable oil, say has a din oil, and it's chaytz v'nei tumah. So what's the machlokes between them? Yosef Yehuda and Rabbanan? How come Yosef Yehuda al Torah and Rebbe al Tamei Zakti Gemara hacha shemen yotzi roishay v'ruboy l'sham pli. They're arguing about the gezerah of maybe he'll stick out his head and rave his guf to over there. And according to Rabbi Yosef, Shittas Rabbi Yosef Yehuda is that you could be metame the person that goes in on a wagon or on a boat, even though there's chatzitza between him and the tumah, because you're chayshish that maybe he's going to stick out his head or his guf outside the window of the boat or the wagon, and he's going to come tummy. However, if he goes in the shida teva migdal that's closed off, chacham more and geyser, because it's not the derech to stick out your head from a shida teva migdal, because it's a closed up box. So that's why Rabbi Yosef Yehuda holds that we're not geyser if you go in a shida teva migdal chutzlaretz. However, Shittas Rebbe is that even the shida teva migdal, chacham were chayshish and they made a gezer al shema yotzi roishay chutz chalayin. We're afraid, although be'etzem ikar din it's not chaytz because you're in a box and it's chaytz. You're in a shida teva migdal tekel chaytz, but chacham will geyser, maybe a guy's going to stick out his head or his body outside the window and it'll become tummy, so that's why they would geyser tumah even if you go in the box. It's gezeres chachamim. So Rebbe holds you do have the gezeres chachamim, but Tanya is like tomorrow. We talk and learn dazay in the brisa. You see it. It says Rabbi Yosef Yehuda Omer. Yosef Yehuda says hanichnas la'aretz am shida teva migdal is tar at sheyotzil sham roisha is tar. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda says it's tar until he sticks out his head or ruboy. So l'chari can medayik that this whole din is a shida teva migdal. It's not normal to stick out your head. But if you go in a kohen sfina, as mashma from this taka, Rabbi Yosef Yehuda would always agree that you're tummy right away, since it's the derech on a boat to stick out your head or in a wagon. Adkan this kabar. So the Mishnah said that the Yemei Safra and Gomra even Mitzayra means if a Nazir is in the middle of being a Nazir, he's in the middle of counting his days, and he has all of a sudden he has the days that you count outside Chutz Machne and the days of inside. Afterwards he comes in as a Mitzayra. Those days do not count towards his Yemini Mezirusai, Umaschul Umayna. The Mishnah said, as soon as he finishes, he made Gamrei Safrei of Mitzayra, he starts counting right away the days that he missed for Naziris, that he started being Nai before he became Tamei. So as I said, the Mishnah is Maschal Umayna. Zok to Gemara. Amar of Chizda. Chizda says, Lo Shanu. We don't. It's not said. This that the Mishnah says that you made Gomrei Safrei are not counted towards his days of Naziris. So the Yemei Gomrei Safrei of being a Mitzvah is not counted towards his. Elo b'Naziris Moetes. Only if he's Mekabel Naziris for 30 days, and then he became a Mitzvah in the middle. Because since he's Megaleach at the end of his Yemei Gofrei and Yemei Safrei, so Kumtois b'Yom Shloshim the beginning of his Naziris, his hair did not grow enough. It has to be a sheer para. It has to be a sheer. The way the concept is that, but for a Nazir, in order to have a Nazir to have a Din Geluach, it has to be that his hair grew at least 30 days. That's called Gadol Para. It has to be that, otherwise it's not considered that he's Mekayim Geluach. Tomorrow, this that you say you may Gomri, you may suffer, don't count towards the Naziris, that's only the Naziris Shloshim Yom, because then it comes out, when he comes back to counting the Naziris, he doesn't have a 30-day period that his hair grew. So therefore, he can't be Mekayim Geluach. Avom Naziris Beruba, if guys Mekabel themselves Naziris for a lot of days, so even after he's Megaleach from his Tzaras, let's say he's Megaleach from his Tzaras on day 20, but still he is Naziris for 100 days, so he has an additional 30 days there where he could be Mekayim in the midst of Giluach, and it could be considered Para, because it's 30 days of growing his hair. So Dr. Gemara, Mislak Nami Salkanle, you'll say that his Yemei Tzarata also count towards his Yemei Naziris in that case. Azoy Zak Rav Chizda. So Frakti Gemara, Masav Rav Shravya, Rav Shravya asked on this halach, on this Rav Chizda just said. He said that we learned in either the Mishnah or Brisa. Zok Rav Shravya, it says over there, Masav Rav Shravya, it says that a Nazir that's a star in the middle of his Naziris, Maschol Moina Miyad. As soon as he gets tahor, he starts counting Naziris. It's not mevatel the days that he already counted before he became Mitzvah. Rather, he continues on counting from where he left off when he became Tamei. So Rav Shar is medayik, but what kind of Naziris is he talking about? Ilaim Naziris Moetes. If you can tell he's talking Naziris of Shloshim Yoim, how does Tana Mishnah say that's not mevatel the days before? Hakabayi Gidol Sayer. What do you mean? He has to have 30 days that he lets his hair grow, and you don't have that because it has a break in between him. He may suffer, he may go in Mitzvah, and he had to cut his hair at the time, so he doesn't have a 30-day period. So how does it work? So Zok Rav Shravya has to be Elalav Naziris Meruba. Avada this Mishnah or whatever, the Brisa, whatever he brought down, Rav Shravya has to tell him Naziris Meruba, that this person was Mekabel Naziris for a long time, and even after he would be Megaleach from Tzaras, he would still have an additional 30 days at the end until the end of his Naziris. And it says after he may suffer, he starts counting right away the Yemei Naziris that's left over. So it's mashma. What do you see from this? That the Yemei Safroi, a namat starved to his Mispah Yemei Naziris, even by Naziris Meruba, not like Rav Chizda, right? Rav Chizda said that in a case where you're counting a lot of days of Naziris, where you have a 30-day period that you grow your hair, you can kind of Geluach, and in that case, he may suffer, he may govern of his Tzaras time, would count towards Naziris. So you see over here in the Mishnah, I like that. Zakti Amara, who Moisiv Law, who Mafarkla. Rav Shravya asked the question on Rav Chizda, and he himself also answered it. Why? Because the Mishnah is talking about Naziris Bas Chamishim Yom. You know why? Because the Mishnah is not talking about 30 days and it's not talking about 100 days. It's talking about Naziris of 50 days. And this Rav Chizda said a Naziris Moetes, he meant that he should have a little bit of time from when he's in star until he's in Naziris, and then he can start counting. And for instance, the Yosef Esrin, that he sat 30 days of the 50 days. So let's say he had a 50-day Naziris, we're saying it's talking about the Mishnah, or later Chizda, and he he counted 20 days, and then Vesili de Tzaras, then he got Tzaras. So then the halacha is Megalech L'Tzaratoi. So he has to take care of himself, cut his hair for Tzaras. V'hada Yosef Tlosin Yomi Nazir, and then he has to count 30 days of Naziris to be mashal of his Naziris. And it's not Seiser the days before Tzaras in that case. Why? Because he has, in this counting, enough shear for Gidol Seir. So in Mele, it's not Seiser the days that he counted, the 20 days he counted before that, before he got his Tzaras. And also, the Yemei Tzarata, in this case, you don't say it counts for his Yemei Naziris. Why? Because he has to grow his hair at least 30 days, like the shear of Para. We know that the shear of Para, in order to become Galuch, it has to be a shear of Para, which is 30 days. So if you count these 30 days, if he's Mekabel himself as a Naziris on 50 days, and you consider these days, you count the days that he may suffer, may gum right towards his Naziris, then he's going to be missing from shear Para. But if he's Mekabel himself as a Naziris Meruba, which is that at the time he was at Stara, he has more than 30 days left over. So in that case, his Yemei Tzarat, they go to Cheshbon Yomim, to the Cheshbon of the days, more than 30 days. So that's why in that case you can count Yemei Tzarat and Yemei Safra towards the Naziris, because you have still 30 days. But in a case where you have 50-day Naziris and it becomes a Mitzvah after 20 days, so if you count the days of Mitzvah, Yemei Safra towards Naziris, then Kuntes, you do not have 30 days. So that's why, Zakti Gemara, Rav Shrav is going to have to learn the Pshat that this Rav Chizda is saying that you count. If you would count, when in the case where it's 50-day Naziris, if you would count the days of Yemei Tzarate for Cheshbon Naziris, then he would not be able to do Giluach after day 50. So in that case, he would not count it.